So episode 3, we're welcoming Tyson, and I'm really excited to talk to you because I feel like I know a little bit about your background and a little bit about your story. So I feel like this is really excited me to sort of dig deep and get to
Thanks for
know
having me.
bit behind the scenes. Tell us a little bit about Tyson. Who are you? Where are you at right now?
35. I've been doing CrossFit now for probably 3 years, I think.
So you started when you're about 32,
Yeah.
same as me,
Yeah. So
late bloomers.
I I had weight loss surgery at the start of 2022, and I think I started CrossFit about 12 months after that,
Yeah.
roughly.
So did you have in mind that you wanted to do CrossFit before the weight loss surgery, or is it something you found post surgery?
No. So post surgery, it was calisthenics that I actually wanted to do.
Yeah,
I wanted
okay.
to learn that, but I didn't know where to start. There was sort of no one I could find, at least on the Gold Coast, that could teach me.
Yeah.
And just through my research into that, I was like, all right, what's something similar? And it was like CrossFit. And
Google anything related to weightlifting or body weight.
yeah, pretty much. And I was like, okay, all right. I was based at Upper Coomera at the time. I'm now based at Pimpamura. And I was like, all right, CrossFit gym, what's nearby? And there just so happened to be a gym that had just opened. So I went there, and my first exposure to CrossFit was a 12 days of Christmas WOD.
Like the Matrix?
Yep.
I love them. They're like my favorite type of workout.
I think I got to maybe day 6.
Fuck this, I can't do it.
I was like, that was the hardest thing I've ever done. I'm coming back. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And the community was incredible. So
Yeah. I feel like
really
with
good.
CrossFit, people often say like, oh, it's so hard. It's so hard. Any sport is hard, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
I do find certain people are either psychotic and push themselves to that point of like failure,
Oh, yeah.
or you can scale anything and get through.
Yeah.
But it is one of the most common misconceptions, I think, of CrossFit is people think you have to be fit before you start CrossFit.
Yeah, it's from the outside looking in, very intimidating.
Yeah.
Very intimidating.
And I get that.
But once you get in there, yes, you can scale it. But I know, like, for a lot of people, and myself included, you're thinking scaling, look at all these people going like super heavy, going really hard, doing ring muscle ups, et cetera, et cetera. You're like, I'm too embarrassed to scale.
But that's a small percentage.
It's a fear that is very quickly alleviated when you get into the community of a CrossFit gym.
And you get made welcome and
such a supportive community. Everyone's celebrating your achievements with you. Everyone's pushing you to do better, but they're not pushing you to go to the extreme straight away. Everyone understands you've got your ability, you've got your capabilities.
Everyone starts somewhere.
Yep.
And that's like, it is a small percentage of people. I know it's intimidating when you get in there and you see like people walking on their hands and like you said, like ring muscle ups, or you've got these jack people with no shirt on and they're lifting all these heavy weights. But it is a small percentage of athletes in the gym that are at that level. And majority of people are just like you when you start. They're coming back from having children, or they're getting started for the first time, or they're trying a different sport. They're wanting to try something new. And it is a super huge misconception on CrossFit. And I think now it's definitely bigger than what it was.
Yeah.
Definitely more people. Like I know personally a heap of people that have moved over from just commercial gym into CrossFit within the last 12 months, 18 months that never would have thought to go to CrossFit beforehand. You know what I mean? But now they're getting involved. They're becoming part of the community. Not that there's anything wrong with the commercial gym, but I find when you find that community and people to help push, and you don't have to rely on yourself to push you all the time.
It helps big time with the discipline and the motivation. Like some people are incredibly disciplined and they can just go, all right, this is my program. I'm going and I'm just doing it.
Regardless of time or
Whereas other people, like myself, I need that supportive community, that push from everyone else to really sort of drive progress.
Yeah. So let's talk weight loss surgery.
Yep.
Before you got the weight loss surgery, had you tried getting into health and fitness previously, or what made you lean towards that decision?
I guess so. I'd always been on the bigger side, always been either sort of overweight or obese. Even when I was a kid, I mean, I played rugby league when I was a kid. I played field hockey, had some issues with my knee, sort of went out of all of that. I got really fit at the end of high school doing boxing and kickboxing.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Um, and that was really fun.
That's insane fitness, boxing. Yeah.
That was great. But then, and so from that, I was trying to get into the military, couldn't get into the military, again, because of my knee issues. And that sort of sent me into a downward spiral where I'd train on and off various things, but I was really big. Before I had the surgery, I was 144 kilos.
Yeah,
That
okay.
was probably where I maxed out. I was always sort of on the fence when it came to surgical intervention and whatnot. For me personally, I sort of looked at it as I'd be cheating myself, but I've got two daughters. One of them's got special needs and she will need a full-time carer for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And I sort of got to a point where I was like, if I don't do something about my health, I'm not going to be around to support her, my other daughter, my wife. I don't want to leave them.
There was a bigger picture behind it.
Yeah. And so in my mind, it went from I'd be cheating myself to is wanting to live cheating. And so that's sort of when I made that decision. And it was interesting. The first 12 months, your recovery from it really is a 12-month process.
Yeah, okay.
Because your whole body is changing. I mean, you've not only reduced the size of your stomach from this
Some
to
major surgery too. Yeah.
Yep.
So you've had to change your entire sort of diet really and lifestyle. Like people think I'll just get weight loss surgery and I'll be skinny or whatever, but it's that I don't think they realize that it is constant work post
yeah,
to
and
maintain a lifestyle thereafter.
it certainly comes with its own
Risks
set of
and-
challenges
yeah.
and whatnot as well.
But obviously a decision you felt you needed to make, obviously for your health and the well-being of your life and thinking about your family and whatnot.
Yeah, and now that I feel like I've got a handle on how it all works and everything, no issues. Like,
Yeah.
best decision ever. So happy with everything that's come along with it. Like, I've been
Yeah.
able to do things I never thought I'd ever do in my life.
Yeah.
So absolutely love it.
And, you know, it's quick for people, even yourself, sitting there to think, oh, it's cheating or the easy way out. But who are we to judge or have an opinion on something that might essentially help someone survive longer down the track? You know what I'm saying?
I think one of the realizations that I got from it was we don't get enough education growing up around health, fitness, diet. Like everything's
Our
food
generation did it.
pyramid. And yeah, definitely not. Like when I
Now,
was going through school, it was the food pyramid and that's it.
now I definitely think it's better. Like my son's in high school and I don't know whether it's just because he's in like the rugby league academy or anything, but they focus so much on nutrition, on mental skills, on all this stuff. And like we never had anything like that,
God, no.
you know, in school. Because what are you?
85. So
Yeah.
I graduated high school in 2008.
Yeah. So I'm 5 years older than you.
Yep.
It's so common and such a big thing now for young teenagers, boys and girls, and even young adults, boys and girls, like from the age of 17, 15 even, all the way up until like 25 to be healthy and fit. In my era, it wasn't. Everyone just went to backyard parties.
Yeah. Yep.
You passed out on the lawn at someone's house
Yeah.
from drinking. Like, it's a very different lifestyle, I feel now, to younger kids than what it was when maybe we were that age. And I think they are starting to educate people younger about looking after your body and health and fitness, which I think is fantastic.
Oh, 100%. It's totally necessary. And even at post-surgery, I got to a point where I found I wasn't really making much progress in terms of increasing my lifting ability and all of that sort of thing. I just felt low energy, drained all the time. My mum, she actually does bodybuilding figure comps sort of thing. She's got a comp this weekend.
That's wicked.
So she sees a coach here on the Gold Coast, Mel Green, who...
Just specifically for bodybuilding?
Yeah, so she does like the posing coaching and the diet and everything.
Yeah.
And so because she was helping mum with her diet and whatnot. Mum said, go and see Mel. Talk to Mel.
Yeah.
Went and saw her. We worked out I was probably only averaging like 1,500 calories a day.
Yeah.
She's like, you're not giving yourself enough fuel to be able to train the way you're trying to train.
But how much can you consume after weight loss surgery? Like having such a small stomach,
Yep.
or well, obviously, I don't know how small it is once I take it out, but I would imagine a lot less than someone that hasn't had it. Like,
Yeah.
how many calories can you safely consume, or do you just snack continuously through the day?
Yeah, so it's a lot of small meals over the course of the day.
Yeah.
And again, that sort of ties into that 12-month recovery period. So after 12 months, the amount you can eat does increase because it does stretch out. And I tend to eat a lot slower. I can't just eat a lot of food. And I do have to be tactful in what I'm eating.
Make sure your protein, like you get enough protein. Yeah.
Exactly. So like I have an absolute obsession with Muscle Nation's protein water. I live on that stuff because it's got the protein in it. It's easy for me to consume during the day. It's a winner, really.
Yeah. So Muscle Nation, if you need
if you need someone to like promo your protein water, I'm your guy.
protein water, Tyson.
Yep.
I barely have protein powder though, because I eat so much. So I manage to be able to get my protein through my food. But I definitely think supplements like that are a must if you're someone that, you know, can't consume large amounts of food, or even someone that's just trying to get that extra bit of protein in their diet for whatever reason, you know, building lean muscle, etc. So
through Mel, I learned about micronutrients, calorie tracking, that sort of thing. And I was using MyFitnessPal to track everything. Did that for about
it's
3
like a diary.
months. Yeah. I did it pretty consistently for about 3 months. And then I found from there, I sort of had a gauge of
Guesstimation.
everything, what's in there. So I don't live in it anymore, but I sort of understand what I need to do and everything now. So that really opened my eyes. And it also changed my relationship with food. Like I had a fear of carbs. Carbs were the devil because I was always taught that's how you put on weight. You eat a lot of carbs, but it's all relative to what you're doing as well.
And what sort of carbs? When you get into health and fitness, so one thing that I had to drill into my clients, like when I did my nutrition and stuff like that, was carbs are not the enemy.
Yep, definitely.
And fats aren't the enemy. Everyone's like, oh, I've got to do low fat this, low fat that. And I'm like, hang on a second. Fats are essential for hormones, especially women.
Yep.
People don't understand that you can't cut out something major and not get repercussions from it. 100%. You've got to find that balance. You've got to find that healthy, how much works for you, which can take time. Everyone's body's different, but carbs are not the enemy if you are trying to build a physique. So it's different for someone that's maybe looking for just weight loss. Still, carbs aren't the enemy. If you are looking to build a physique and build strength, you know, lean muscle, things like that, work on bone density, bone strength, all that sort of thing, carbs are essential. You have to have carbs. Nutrition's essential for people to learn about if you're serious about fitness, regardless of what sport you're in. I think nutrition, everyone should do a crash course on nutrition 100%. If you're a serious athlete. You don't have to get your certificates or anything, but people would benefit so much more from doing a little research themselves for personal growth.
Yeah.
You know?
And it doesn't have to be hard. I mean, the big game changer for me was meal prepping.
Yeah.
I've got like a month's worth of lunches made up, frozen in my freezer at home at the moment.
They say, like, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail.
Yep. 100%.
That's the biggest thing. And meal prep, like Sundays for me, everyone's like, oh, let's do this on Sunday. Let's do that on Sunday. And I'm like, okay, I can either only do something in the morning or the afternoons because I have to prep. Like I have to prep for the week. I work part-time. I've got kids. I don't have time in the day to scratch my ass. I need to have things prepped for the week. Let's talk about you as an athlete.
Yep.
Where are you at the moment as an athlete and what are your goals and where are you looking to go as an athlete?
So for me, it's all been really down to pushing myself to see what I'm actually capable of because all of this is still relatively new to me,
Yeah.
being physically fit. Sort of, it's opened my eyes up to the fact that things I thought weren't ever going to be possible are possible. And so for me, it's just been a journey of what can I actually achieve if I put the
Yeah.
work in? Uh, and
And
now
you're
it's just,
surprising yourself
oh
every
yeah,
day.
100%.
It's so good.
100%.
So good.
I also love competing, yet when you're doing the competition, sometimes you're like, why am I doing this to myself? Like I did OCF recently.
Well, we did Trinity together.
We did Trinity together earlier this year. That was really good.
I loved it though.
Oh, it was so much fun.
It was so good.
And the programming for Trinity this year was amazing.
It was really good.
Really good.
I'd always seen these big competitions down here, like in Brisbane and the Gold Coast and stuff like that, because obviously coming from a small town, we have local CrossFit competitions up there. Actually, at CrossFit CQ in Rockhampton, they used to hold quite big competitions there. Like they had EFL and the Oz Day mashup and stuff like that. So people used to travel from all over to compete at those competitions. Overall, there's not a lot of big competitions up that way. So then when I moved down here and finally, because I used to see all the competitions on social media, and I used to be like, oh, like how fun to go and do those competitions.
Right.
And then I got down here and like when you messaged me and were like, oh, do you want to do Trinity? And I was like, yeah, I do. Yes, I do.
So much fun. And it's the
addictive.
community again. You've got your community at the gym and then you've got a much bigger, broader community. And the amount of friendships that I've established just by doing competitions and whatnot has been incredible.
And even cheering for people you don't know. Like I remember being there and someone doing a lift and I was like going out of my mind for this lift. And the girl standing beside me, she's like, oh, do you know her? And I was like, no.
But she's doing a great job.
She's got a PB. Like, this is freaking awesome.
Yep.
So no, it is addictive in that sense, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, like, obviously I'm not trying to go to the games or anything like that. I would love to get to a point where I can do a teams comp at RX level.
Yeah.
I feel like that would probably be like peak for me.
Yeah.
I would know then that all the hard work really has paid off.
Yeah.
But it's all just one step at a time.
I personally think that working towards something, entering in a division and coming last in the division, but having a go and working towards your abilities is much better than entering in a division that you're going to sweep the floor with and end up taking podium. And
100%.
There's a time and a place for things like that. Some competitions are funny. Some competitions say intermediate and then they'll have bar muscle ups in intermediate programming. And it's like, well, okay, is this really intermediate? Or things like down under championships. I noticed that the programming for things like that, like quite often the intermediate is what your standard RX in a class at the gym.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And OCF was sort of like that. The scaled division was, I thought, genuine scale.
You competed down here in that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Actually, I saw you on TV and I was like, hey, yeah.
So the scaled division for that was a genuine scaled division, in my opinion. But the jump to intermediate was huge. Intermediate was more RX, and the RX was more like RX plus sort of thing.
And that's where it's hard because as an athlete, you're not privy to that.
Yep.
Like you can enter these competitions and unless you're a regular or you know the person doing the programming or you've been competing at that competition for 10 years and you know what to expect. As an athlete, you don't know what they're going to program until most of the places don't release workouts till 1 week prior.
Yeah, I think for OCF, it was 2 weeks out from comp that they released.
And I personally know so many people that have entered competitions. The workouts have been released and they've messaged and been like, I'm in the wrong division. Like, I can't do this. I need to drop down. Or someone that's been like, oh, hey, I've seen the workouts. I think I want to challenge myself. Can you bump me up to RX from intermediate? So it is hard as an athlete to gauge
definitely
what
and
that is.
Like, obviously, you've got movement standards, but I remember there was a comp last year where they had the movement standards and the movements that actually were released were more complex than that.
Well, movement standard in RX quite often is 100 kilo back squat.
Yep.
In all my years of competing, I have never had to do a 100 kilo back squat in any competition ever, but it's a standard. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to differentiate like what to do, but I think like having a goal, like you say, your goal is to be able to compete competitively in an RX division. So we're going to run through some basic questions. You said you did sport as a kid.
Yep.
Like, what was that like? Were you always on the Gold Coast?
No. So I was actually born out at Ipswich, but we never stayed anywhere very long. Like from grade 1 to 12, I went to 8 different schools.
Oh, wow.
Mostly around southeast Queensland, but also in the Northern Territory.
Was that parents working? Yeah.
So just parents changing around, moving around a lot with work and whatnot. But in terms of sports growing up, I come on from a family on my father's side that's very big into the rugby league community. Like my grandfather started one of the rugby league teams in Toowoomba. I've got family who have played professionally and whatnot. I was sort of shoved into rugby league. I started playing at a young age, and I think I played all the way up until I was about 12. And I sort of decided then that I wanted to try something different. Played field hockey for a couple of years, and then I've had some issues with my knee. I've had like 3 or 4 surgeries on my knee. And so during high school, I sort of took a break from playing any sort of sport or anything.
And you moved here with your wife, or you met her here?
No. So, no, I used to walk my wife home from school in high school on the Sunshine Coast.
High school sweethearts?
We never dated in high school. It was only a couple of years later that we connected. But yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. It's not often you hear that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't often happen, actually.
No.
It's rare.
So,
Oh, that's really nice. So you moved here with her, and then you settled here and had your kids.
we absolutely love it.
It is.
Love the Gold Coast.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I quite like it, except the traffic.
Brisbane's worse.
I haven't had a lot to do with Brisbane.
You don't.
So, but I'm flying through my audiobooks. Like, just everywhere takes ages to get around. And it's something that I'm trying to get used to, like, because back home you could get anywhere within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm the sort of person, if I'm not 10 minutes early for something, I'm late.
Yeah, I'm like that too.
So now that I'm trying to gauge that, I'm like actual fucking late. I'm so sorry. This is not me. Like, I am not this person. But traffic is ruining my life. All right. So far in your athlete journey, what's been your proudest achievement?
I think probably competing at OCF this year and last year, mainly just because that's an individual comp.
Yeah.
So
it's terrible.
Everything's on me. I don't really get pre-competition nerves or anything. Being able to do that, I think, is probably a big achievement for me.
Yeah. I knew quite a lot of people that did the championships for that, and what an achievement.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't easy to qualify. The workouts looked really hard.
Yeah.
So no.
Thank you.
Good achievement. And what about hurdles? Is there anything in particular that you feel like was a major hurdle?
With CrossFit specifically, probably just knowing to pull back a bit and not try to be at everyone else's level. Don't try and do everything everyone else is doing. And I think Alyssa touched on this in the podcast you did with her about being able to do X number of strict pull-ups before you move on. Like,
that
we don't really see that. We didn't have that in any of the CrossFit gyms that I went to. And so I definitely did try to progress too quickly, and that resulted in injury.
Because it's a dangerous sport.
100%.
Like,
100%.
Some of the things that we do can cause serious injury if you're not competent or you don't have the strength.
Yep.
If you don't have the physical strength to be able to fling your body around or fling that barbell around, you can get seriously injured. It's like, a lot of it is gymnastics. And from a gymnast point of view, yes, we throw ourselves around and do all that stuff on the floor, vault bars, beam, all that sort of stuff. But what people don't realize is in our training sessions, so I used to train Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, before school, after school, and for Saturday on 5 hours. And of those times, the last maybe hour is for apparatus work and running through routines and things like that. It is so much conditioning, like fitness, strength, it's crazy boot camp stuff, but you have to be so physically strong to be able to do those sort of things. And people don't, when they come into CrossFit, they don't look behind those walls. They see people doing all these things, but they don't know that that person is probably doing hours of accessories or comes from a background where they've done hours of accessories and they've built that strength previously.
Oh, 100%. And I think that's probably where a lot of the misconception around CrossFit being a sport where you're just constantly getting injured and everything. It's not necessarily the sport. It's people trying to do things that they aren't conditioned for.
Yes. And as a coach, I think it's the coach's responsibility to say no.
Yeah, pull it back.
Like, I know it's not easy to tell someone, no, you can't do a handstand push-up if they want to have a go. But if you've coached that person for multiple sessions and you know that they can barely hold themselves in a handstand,
yeah,
I'm sorry, but dropping down onto your head with that pressure in your neck and then trying to kick back up, if you can't even hold a handstand for longer than a minute, should not happen.
Yep.
Absolutely not. If you can't hold a handstand against a wall for more than a minute or at least 45 seconds, you have got no business doing handstand push-ups. I don't care how high the riser is. I think we need to voice that and be like, it is okay for someone to say to you, hey, I don't think you're ready yet.
Yeah.
But why don't we, instead of while the whole class is doing handstand push-ups, why don't we go over here and why don't we do an EMOM of holding handstand against the wall?
Yeah, exactly.
You're still kicking upside down. You're still learning to, that gymnastics side of things, but you're just not at that push-up level yet.
Because that is the other thing. Like sometimes it's your coaches are telling you the right things to do. I don't know, ego or something gets in the way and you're like, nah, I can do that with the 22.5 kilo dumbbell. It's like, no, you can't.
People don't like being told what to do.
Correct.
Have you ever wanted to quit? Have you hit that point yet where you've wanted to quit?
Quit CrossFit? No. I've sort of had periods where I've pulled back on the training a bit, and I'm sort of in that stage a little bit at the moment where I've pulled back a little bit just to sort of give my body a chance to recover and whatnot. Because the first 6 months of the year, I was training really hard. Like I was training 6 days a week. Some days I was training twice a day. In the time to have a little reset.
Yeah.
To then go back into it.
And you can have blocks. Like that's what people don't understand, like your training blocks, your strength blocks and things like that. You can have fatigue blocks and fatigue management blocks. So you can go for 8 weeks where you might be training twice a day, doing your metcons and accessories and then doing your strength. But you need to taper off. You need to then allow yourself to have those breaks and cut back and then maybe go to 2 weeks recovery where maybe you're only training 5 days a week and you're putting a complete rest day in there, 1 or 2, and then an active recovery day. Yeah. Then you can hit your next 8-week block. Yep. Let's go again. You got to play with what works for you.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't hit that want to quit mark yet.
Not yet.
That's a good. All right. We're going to do some rapid fire.
All right.
So don't think, just answer. All right.
Shouldn't be too hard for me.
All right. Favorite movement?
Muscle up.
Bar or ring?
Probably bar because I've only just gotten ring.
You have?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Only one, but
hey, it counts. All right. Worst movement.
Thrusters. Thrusters are horrible.
The worst. Okay. Workout you'd never do again.
Probably there was one at OCF last year where we had to do deadlifts, burpees over the bar, and then a plate pinch carry. So you're going as hard as you can, as quickly as you can. Lost grip on the plates, lost time. I had to go in for a third round, and that was a killer.
What's your training vibe?
Ooh.
Are you a serious, don't talk to me while I'm training, I'm getting in, getting it done? Or are you a joker?
No, I'm the guy trying to find who's filming themselves so that I can be in the background photo bomb. Usually dancing, not well.
You've got to have one of those at the gym.
Oh, yeah.
Music of choice. What do you like to train to?
Probably anything metal.
Yeah. Pet peeve or gym ick? What gives you the ick in the gym or annoys you so much in the gym?
I guess the only thing is if you've set up equipment and someone then goes and takes your equipment, if you set up a bar and then someone grabs the bar.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Donuts.
Yeah. It's the quickest answer you've done of all of them.
I love donuts.
Fast answer and donut answer. Before we hit our hot topic, we're going to play a little game. You're going to need your drink for this one. So this is a little different though, because we've got coffee.
Yep.
I used to play this game with alcohol. Have you ever played Never Have I Ever?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Right. It's a long time. So the way that it works is if you've done it, you take a sip.
Okay.
Okay. So first one, never have I ever vomited during or after a workout.
Last week.
Do you have enough coffee in there? Because I might need more. Okay. Question 2. Never have I ever ripped my pants in a workout.
Ripped underpants, but not the pants I was wearing.
So just the undergarments?
Yeah, fortunately.
Half a sip. All right. Number 3. Never have I ever pissed or shit myself in a workout.
Yeah, I haven't. Unfortunately.
I mean, I'm drinking. I'm a mum of 2 kids.
Yeah, see, got an excuse.
And skipping is a terrible time. Double unders. And any mum would agree with me on that one. All right. Never have I ever cheated or shaved reps in a workout.
But I can justify it.
Hit me.
I'm not doing it to try and win the workout. I'm doing it so it's more of a scale. So I'm reducing it to go the full time cap sort of thing. I'm not doing it.
Okay. I wouldn't class that as cheating or shaving reps.
Okay.
So if you are making a strategic decision mid-workout to be able to keep going in the workout rather than stop and you scale accordingly, I don't count that as shaving or cheating. But if you're
doing it to try and
intentionally beat someone, that's a different story.
Yeah. No.
Okay, this is a funny one. Never have I ever celebrated beating someone in a workout that didn't know that I was racing them.
No, I haven't done that because I don't think I beat anyone in a workout.
My guilty pleasure is picking someone in a class that I know that I'm like relatively close to and being like, right, I need to beat that person in the workout. It's how I help push myself.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Never have I ever used an excuse like my grip went or my back hurts because I finished a workout not where I wanted to. Have you ever used an excuse because you just couldn't do a workout? I have.
Yeah.
Not for anyone else. I think for myself to try and
justify it to yourself. Yeah. I'd say, that's how I've done it.
Yeah. All right. Never have I ever quit a workout halfway through.
No, I've all done that.
Yeah, I've done that too. Never have I ever ripped my hands in a workout so bad that I couldn't wash them.
Oh, yeah, I've done that.
Me too.
It sucks.
I know. Like
100%.
it is a serious situation. And when you rip, you can't do anything.
No, that's the problem.
Your whole life goes down the drain.
It's horrible. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
I'm so glad it doesn't happen very often anymore.
Well, when I used to have my gym and people would rip their hands, I used to tell people to pee on their hands. So, and everyone says to me, Leah, are you joking? Like, are you taking the piss? And I'm like, no, we used to go to gymnastics camps and like when you would go get selected for a state squad and you would go train for 1 week training camps, if you ripped on the first day, you didn't get to sit out for the rest of the week. You still had to do bars every day of the week for the rest of that training camp. And our coaches told us to pee on our hands. It works.
Okay, so I've got an alternative for you because I rollerbladed when I was a kid and we used to get horrible blisters.
You people do it in the shower, but still, what's the alternative? Oh,
hurts like hell.
That would hurt.
But it dries it out real quick.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I think I'd rather pee on them.
Yeah. At the time, definitely.
That would hurt. Okay. Never have I ever lied about my CrossFit abilities.
Probably lied to myself about my CrossFit abilities. I've definitely lied to myself about my CrossFit abilities.
Okay. Last one. Never have I ever stalked another athlete on socials before competing against them.
I've done that.
I love doing it. When I see the leaderboard and then I go onto everyone's Instagram and I like see if I know them or like what they train. I love it. I'm so nosy when it comes to that stuff. I want to know the ins and outs of everyone that I'm competing against.
Totally understand.
I love it. All right. So it's time for our hot topic. And the hot topic I wanted to touch on this week is men versus women.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of places, I don't think it's a thing. I have had experiences where people think it's a thing, like in regards to programming. how men have to do a heavier weight, or men have to do a higher box, or men have to do, more reps on a machine and things like that. What's your take on programming men versus women in CrossFit and where that lies? Like, what's your thoughts behind it?
I think I don't really see, it's all based on ability,
Yeah.
individual ability and capabilities. And I think men are obviously the worst for this because of egos. And I try to have as little an ego as possible because I only ever see it serve people negatively. But like take Trinity, for example, when we were doing, was it thrusters we were doing with the dumbbells?
Yes.
I maxed out. We had to swap weights. You were doing a heavier weight than me. It's not about like men don't have to do a heavier weight. It's about where you are with your capabilities.
Yeah.
I remember one of the first CrossFit classes I ever did. There was a woman there who was heavily pregnant doing cleans at like 80 kilos. I couldn't even clean 60 kilos. My mind was blown.
Yeah.
So
What a weapon.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's all just down to individual abilities.
I think it comes down to scaling or not scaling accordingly.
Yeah.
So if you're a man that's new to CrossFit, you don't have to do the 24-inch box.
Yeah, you can.
You can do
scale
the
it
20-inch box.
Yep.
And if you are a woman that is into CrossFit, you don't have to do, unless it's a competition.
Yeah, different there.
Where you obviously have to do what's programmed. But if you want to do a 24-inch box jump over, have at it.
Yeah. And sometimes in the comp, they may let you swap the weights.
If they don't specify. And that's not so much you going, I can't do this, or me going, I can do this. It was more so, how are we going to get through this?
Yeah, it's understanding what you as an individual, what you're capable of, and what your teammates are capable.
I quite often think that sometimes women get looked over their abilities when it comes to strength and stuff like that. And it's getting a lot better now. I think women in fitness and women in strength related sports are definitely getting less overlooked than what they used to.
Yes.
So even women in rugby league now is so good. Like it was never a thing. It was never like, the way people saw it were like, you can't do that because you're a girl. Piss me off. Like back then, women in strength and women in sport wasn't celebrated the way that it is now. And it really pisses me off that still to this day, men will turn around and say, she's too muscly. Or like, fuck you, mate.
Yeah.
Who are you to ever comment on anyone's body or ability?
Yep.
I think we should celebrate not that women and men are equal in sports, but that they each deserve their spot in sport.
Yep.
And we should not be going, you have to do this because you're a woman.
Yeah. And I think that's probably because CrossFit is a newer sport. We haven't really had much of that. Like it's always been inclusive, which is really good.
Yeah.
But definitely agree with your points. And like, I know last year when I was watching the NBA or the WNBA, I thought the WNBA games were far better than the NBA games. It's not, I'm glad to see that it's coming through a lot more and there's a lot more women's versions of sports which is good.
Yeah. No, I think women in sport is definitely progressing, which is fantastic.
Oh, 100%.
Because I think it deserves it.
Yep.
And I think people forget how impressive it is for a woman to come in when she's on her period and then compete and expect to compete at her highest level, and no one touches base on it.
No,
because it's expected. It's no one thinks to address it. And I think it deserves an extra thing.
Yeah.
I saw a post on socials and it really grabbed my attention. Like someone must have been at the CrossFit Games and they were filming the women at the CrossFit Games and what they were doing and how capable these women are. Like they're insane. I think too, who was it? She beat all the men and the women in the one workout. I think it was in the swimming workout. She beat all the men and all the women on the thing.
Campbell?
Lucy Campbell.
That's it.
And someone like posted a thing and it was like, how amazing that these dominant women could be like on their period right now. and they're just dominating at the CrossFit Games. And this might not mean anything to a man, but from a woman's perspective, and especially from a perspective like mine, where I have endometriosis and things like that, which affect me tremendously through sport and just everyday life, it is something that needs to be celebrated and something that needs to be spoken about, like how these women can get up and perform that way under things like that we just shove off as, well, it's everyday life.
Yeah.
It is everyday
I
life.
was going to say, yeah, it is.
But it deserves to be recognized.
Yeah, it shouldn't be just sort of swept under the rug.
No.
Yeah, 100%.
And like I said, I'm not a man, so I don't know like what men go through with things like that. But I definitely think that it is not celebrated enough how women are able to perform at high level or at any level under having to be a woman.
Fair statement.
Well, it was so great to have you on.
No, thanks for having me. I'm really glad to have a chat.
Yeah, it was really good. I really want to get people in regularly, like for continuous chats. And then like once people get to know them, we don't have to do the whole introduction. We can just be like, let's get on here and talk shit. Like, let's talk about what's going on. Let's,
All right, well, here's one for you. I'll turn the tables on you.
Okay, hit me.
Who's your dream guest? Who's like, if I could get anyone as a guest on the show, who is it?
That's a tough one because it would depend on what sport. So I have different people that I would love to get on, like from different sports.
Yep.
CrossFit, I would love to get on, and I know that she's not an everyday athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But could you imagine sitting down with Claire Toomey? And I know it's like, oh, cliche, Tia Claire Toomey, like she's the most dominant
what she's achieved is in.
Have you read her book?
I've listened to the audiobook.
So I've read her book multiple times, and she's from Gladstone.
Yep.
From Gladstone. I went to, when she owned CrossFit Gladstone, I was working at a boot camp place called PET, and I grabbed all my friends and we went to this CrossFit event that she was hosting at her CrossFit gym. I took my son, he was like 9 months old, and there was no crèche, and I didn't know. So Tia Claire Toomey held my son the whole time me and my friends went to this communal event. They were doing some fundraiser thing for something. And I feel like her story, and a lot of high elite athletes probably have similar stories, how hard they've worked. But I feel like I have a connection with, like, we're both from Gladstone. I met her before she was here to me. And not just at the Gladstone Gymnastics, my daughter was doing gymnastics while she was coming there and working on her gymnastics because it was a skill that she wasn't blessed with, like as a gymnast. And so she was going and doing extra things at Gladstone Gymnastics to try and, amp up her skills and stuff like that. And I would see her there when I'd pick my daughter up from her gymnastics. And so it would be, not that she would remember me, but it would be so cool to sit down with someone like that, knowing that I've seen her back when she bought. And the funny thing is, like, I ended up, before I closed my business down, I bought CrossFit Gladstone. So her business that she had, I ended up with it. I was the last person with it before I closed it down before moving here. So I don't know. It just, so many things align, and I would love to just like chat to her on that side of things.
All right, so everyone share this video with Tia on socials, all right?
We need to get Tia. Would be my ultimate thing. But I think also I would love to reach out to guests, and there's no guest in particular that I have in mind with this, but I really also want to touch base on sport and athletes from a perspective of people that have it harder than others.
Yep.
So adaptive athletes.
Incredible what they achieved. Absolutely.
Yes. So I went to a rugby league game. My son made cap sports, and then they were doing the run on for the Q Cup sports and stuff. But before the Q Cup sports was happening, the game, they had a rugby league game on the field, and it was all special education people like with Down syndrome and things like that playing rugby league against each other. And it was the best fucking thing I've ever watched in my life. they were just so happy. And
Yep.
like, I would love to hear perspectives and sides from people like that as well. Like, I don't want to just branch out with athletes that,
It's funny you
you
say
know,
that because I got to meet some of the adaptive athletes at OCF both last year and this year. But last year in particular, I actually made friends with some of them, and a couple of them I still talk to. They're not even from Queensland; they're from interstate,
yeah,
and I still talk to them on social media. And just watching them compete and do what they do, it's like I struggle with this, and I don't have any sort of disabilities or anything holding me back. They've got that disability and they're still absolutely smashing it.
yeah. And it's so great to
impressive.
see how big it's gotten. Like we were talking about women in sport.
Yep.
I think adaptive athletes in sport is also getting bigger.
Yeah.
And I think it's getting more and more recognized around the world. And I think that's fantastic. I grew up around kids with disabilities. My mum was a special education teacher her whole life.
Yeah,
Talk
definitely.
to athletes that have gone and done it and what their experience was and how they got to it. So,
That'd be pretty cool.
but yeah, and I don't know, other sport, rugby league is my other passion. So I would like to talk to someone in rugby league, both a man and woman, I
Yeah.
think. And to be honest, give me anyone from the NRL and I'd be a happy girl. Really don't care who it is or who they play for.
That's fair.
No, actually, my dream NRL guest would be Harry Grant
Yeah, okay. All right.
because I was born and bred Yeppoon.
Yep.
He's from Yeppoon. He played for the Yeppoon Seagulls, which we grew up, all my mates played for the Yeppoon Seagulls. So he comes from my hometown, my
Yeah, so you got
hometown.
that connection.
And he's just wicked. Like, I'm a Melbourne Storm supporter. So my mum knows his mum. They taught together. So I just feel like he would be my,
That'd be cool.
he would be my want to have NRL guest on here, I think.
Nice, nice.
All right. So
Excellent.
we'll finish it off with our closing statement on what does being an everyday athlete mean to you?
I think it's just about caring about your health and fitness. What gets lost, I think, is it bleeds into every aspect of your life. And I know for me, having that commitment to health and fitness, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
It's very good for my mental health most of the time.
I love that you touch base on the health side of it. That's what being an athlete means to you, is being healthy. And that to me is everything. I think that's really, really cool.
Yep. Thank you.
Yay!